Oh, Mr. Carter, what on earth are you trying to do?
Oh. Did it well. Wow.
I have to say though, good luck to you. I think starting from scratch, doing a left-handed swing is very, very admirable. And let's face it, it's probably going to be better than your right-handed abomination that you call the technique at the moment. So let's have a look and see what you're doing, shall we? Right, Andrew, let's have a look at this left-handed technique. Now, I've had a look through your irons and your driver swings, and let's face it, there's probably quite a few things to go at, but I'm just going to really focus in on what you're doing through the point of impact, because that's something which, well, let's face it, is the most important thing. So your setup's not too bad. I think your grip might need a little bit of work, but I understand Matthew Fryer might have already spoken to you about that, and the face fanning open a little bit.
That's right, Peter. Matthew did pick up on my grip, and Matthew's going to talk about that in a second, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background first. So I was always quite strong over on my right hand, and I kept flipping the club face over and kind of hooking the ball to the right hand side. So I wanted to change my grip to try to hit the ball a bit straighter, basically. But what's really interesting is, from a coach's perspective, that's the wrong thing to do, because all I'm really doing there is actually approaching it from a quick fix perspective. So I'm approaching it not from a coach's perspective, but very much from a player's perspective, which is what a lot of golfers do. No matter how much you know about the golf swing, when it becomes your own golf swing, we make a lot of faults along the way. That's why this video is so good, because the boys have pinpointed the actual faults, not me pinpointing the quick fix faults. So I did make a grip adjustment to stop the ball going to the right hand side, but what you're going to figure out from this video is that the ball was going low into the right hand side for other reasons, not just because of my grip. Because my grip originally, now I think back to it, was good. My grip was pretty good, but I did put the right hand a lot further under, which as a result does fan the face open. Over to you, Fryer.
That grip in your lead hand for me is just a little bit too weak. So as you're holding it there, it's going to cause the face to get a little bit open. I would like to see that lead hand being a little bit stronger, because if we hop over to the left image, as you work the club away now, notice that that club face is just starting to get a little bit too open in the backswing. So as we get up towards the top here, we're seeing the toe of the club nearly pointing directly down towards the ground. So that would make that face just a little bit too open.
All right, absolute legend. Thank you, Mr. Fryer, for that. So now we're going to head back over to Finch. He's going to talk a little bit more in depth about the actual golf swing and some of the changes he's pinpointed for me to be working on to improve.
Now, in general, your setup isn't too bad. So you've managed to get that little bit of shoulder tilt there. So there's a bit of a spine angle. Ball position, that's not too bad. Could go a little bit further forward, but it's okay. You know, it's not making me want to throw up over my phone as I do this swing review. However, something which does cause me a little bit of nausea. So you'll see here how your shoulder position is nice and solid, and we'll stick a little circle around your head there. I'll say a little, that was absolutely gigantic, but I think it'll do the point. As you take the club away, you got a decent amount of turn. Head lifts a little bit, but you've managed to get a really nice shoulder turn there, mate. In all fairness, that's solid. However, this lead leg here, can you see how it's just broken down a little bit? So you've lost a little bit of rigidity in the lower half. That left hip has actually turned away quite nicely, but it's risen quite a lot. We won't get into that too much. It's not too bad, mate, all things considered. However, as you start to come through the ball here, just watch what happens to your upper body. Now, because you're really keen on trying to get a load of energy and a load of power into the ball, you'll notice how from your original, basically, start of the swing, head nice and steady, stays the same as the shoulders rotate, rather than actually putting a little bit of pressure down into the ground and then starting to rotate. What you actually do is lunge towards the target. So all your body weight, everything that you're trying to put into the ball, is all heading in this direction. It's all firing through the ball. So then you go from a position at the top of the swing, get another circle, through the ball, and then just look how far your upper body has moved towards the target. Now all of a sudden, in relation to your sternum position, you're hitting that driver like you'd really want to be covering, I don't know, like an 8-iron maybe. It comes out really low, hands flip to try and help the ball up in the air. So the first thing I'd say is try and solidify that lower half a little bit. And as you're coming through, you want to be feeling like you're putting a little bit of pressure downwards, and then you're rotating rather than just sliding towards impact. Because as soon as you start to get that far ahead of the ball, as soon as your swing center and your sternum with the driver is on top of the ball like that, it's only going to be going down, or you're going to be trying to scoop it off up into the air.
The other thing that I would say for yourself is that as we watch you come down in this swing now, watch the movement down. The actual shape of the golf swing's really good. That was the warm-up there, but as we go back, face gets too open. Then as we go down, moving too much into your toes. We see that, early extension word banded around quite a lot. It's not actually a bad thing sometimes with a longer club, because you are getting that little bit more of an explosive move. But again, if you are a little bit open in the face and moving up into your toes, you are going to shove that heel towards it. And also when we see it here on the left hand side, just for me, there's just a little bit too much lateral movement going on. As we see now, you drive forward and then we see you up into your toes a bit too much. And just like I say, a little bit too much laterally. If we watch like your Brysons or someone like that nowadays, we would see them load into the lead leg and then actually almost back up as they come through into impact and explode the driver a little bit more. All looking good. That looks better than your right-handed one, so keep going with it, mate.
Right, mate, hope that helps. Really, I honestly wish you the best of luck. And hopefully, mate, I'll be seeing you soon. All right, pal. See you in a bit.
All right, massive thank you to the boys for getting involved and for helping me out with a bit of swing analysis, because realistically, I only see it from a player's perspective. I didn't really analyse my golf swing from a video analysis perspective, because I want this series to be a lot more authentic, very much like the majority of golfers going out and practicing as well. So I wanted to use the video analysis, send it to some golf coaches and get their opinions. Now what is really, really interesting is that both of the lads are talking about the downswing in two very different perspectives. You've got Finchy talking about it from the upper body perspective, where the shoulders are moving forwards and therefore kind of pretty much getting me too far ahead of the golf ball and then obviously lowering the loft. Whereas you got Fryer talking about it from a lower body perspective, where the early extension pushes in and the lower body then can't rotate as much. And they're both absolutely correct. And this is why coaching is so incredibly interesting, because we've got two golf coaches identifying the same thing but getting their message across in two very different ways. Now, for most golfers to go out and get a golf lesson, this is where it is important to get the right coach. Some coaches will say it from a point of view that's good for you, and some will say it from a point of view that you don't quite relate to as well. Both coaches, for me personally, have said it in a way that obviously I know because I'm educated in the golf swing. But that's a really key thing to take from this video, is that they're talking about two very, very similar areas of the golf swing in two very different ways, kind of separating upper body and lower body. So massively important for yourself, guys, to when you go onto when you go and start looking for a golf coach, that you can try a couple of coaches. You can see who you kind of relate best to in the way they actually describe it. But next week we're going to have a video out where I'm going to be trying to implement some of the changes the lads have helped me. So I'm definitely going to make the grip change back to where I actually used to have it in the first place before I actually made that quick fix to stop it hooking. And I'm going to be really focusing on both points that the boys have told me. So there's a practice video going to be coming next week, because I'm not sure how many of you are actually aware. If you follow me on my social media platforms, you probably will be aware, but last week I had emergency surgery to have my appendix removed. So that was great crack. But I am now in recovery, hence why this video is coming from my balcony. And I am hoping to be playing golf again next week. And if I am, I'm straight back onto playing golf left-handed. I've had a couple of weeks off because I've also played the Pepsi Pro-Am a couple of weeks ago, where the video has now gone live as well and doing very, very well. So thank you very much for checking that out. But the next couple of videos are going to be implementing some of the changes the lads have helped me with and getting better, then getting it back onto the golf course and seeing if the improvements can go from range to course. That is also a huge part of learning golf, and it's something that I obviously deal with a lot of my clients on a daily basis. But also what I do want to say to everybody in the UK, if you're back playing golf, amazing, that is awesome news. I'm filming this on the first day that you're actually allowed to get out there and play, so get out there, hit some horrendous shots, hit some amazing shots, just enjoy it. For those of you that still can't play, hold on tight, it's coming soon. We're nearly there, guys, we're nearly there. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel, follow me on my social media platforms as well to keep up to date with everything that's going on, and I'll see you again very soon.